So Liam suggested I do a list of my 5 favorite movies for posterity. So after I'm dead, you know what movies I like to watch. But actually this is impossible. I can't do it. It's impossible. Yeah, it's impossible for 2 reasons. First of all, there are 11 Star Wars movies. How the hell can I squeeze 11 movies into 5? The math says it's not possible. So, and that's if you don't include the 3 unmentionable movies, which are the 2 most rubbish Ewok movies, and the truly heinous holiday special, which actually, as the years go by and the more times I watch it, it becomes less heinous. If you're a Star Wars fan, you have to watch this movie at least once. It's mad, it's mental, it's ludicrous, it's ridiculous. You got to watch it at least once. It is so drug-addled. You can tell that the guys just really didn't want to be doing this, but it's mad. There's Chewbacca's son Lumpy is in it, and for 20 minutes of the movie, him and his parents just grunt at each other. And the old grandpa is there as well. They just grunt at each other, and there's no translation at the bottom. What they're talking about, it's ridiculous. There's a cooking section in this movie where they go through and they make some meal, and it involves B. Arthur from Golden Girls. There's singing and there's dancing and there's little fairies, and it's mad. You gotta watch it. If you're a Star Wars fan, just watch it just at least once. And I suggest that you partake in some recreational chemicals before you do it. But don't watch the Ewok movies. They're rubbish. Ewoks are rubbish, as just generally. But the movies are awful. Ewoks are just truly awful things. People just think they're so cute. Oh, cute and lovable, and oh, I love that Wicket. No, Ewoks are evil. People underestimate them. They're one of the worst creatures in the entire Star Wars universe. And if you think I'm kidding, go back to Return of the Jedi, when they go to Endor and they capture Han and Luke, and look what they're doing. They're tying them to stakes, and they're going to put them over a fire and cook them. Ewoks eat humans. They eat humans. Princess Leia, you see her on Endor and she's in a dress. She didn't have a dress when she went there. And the Ewoks all dressed in furs. They don't have rolls of fabric and sewing machines and seamstresses. No. Where did the dress come from? I'll tell you where the dress came from. They took it off some woman that they ate, and they gave it to her and told her to put it on. Ewoks are evil. They're evil. I could bet. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to drop the subject of Ewoks. So anyway, for Star Wars reasons, I can't make a top 5 list of movies. But the second reason why this is impossible is because if you ask me today what my 5 favorite movies are, and then you ask me tomorrow, you're probably going to get 2 different lists. In fact, if you ask me now and you ask me in an hour, the list will probably change again. So it's not really possible. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to give you a list of my 5 favorite movies as of 7:42 p.m. on the 7th of November. It'll be different in an hour, but we'll go with this. At number 5, Pitch Perfect. And fuck you if you judge me on that. I love Pitch Perfect. Me and my daughter bonded over Pitch Perfect. We watch it often. We do a marathon of all 3 movies, and we sing along, and we know all the words. It's brilliant. I love it. And the moment where they do the a cappella version of No Diggity is one of the greatest cinematic moments of all time. And again, fuck you if you judge me on that. Number 4. Joe Dirt. I love Joe Dirt. What a good film. What a good movie. It's one of the funniest films I've ever seen in my life. It's one of the most heartwarming films I've ever seen in my life. And I'll watch it over and over again. The moment in that movie, no spoilers, the moment in that movie involving a space peanut is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. The moment in that movie that has the line, "I am your sister," I pissed myself laughing at. It is so funny. And Brandy is the hottest woman on the planet. Except for my lovely wife Angela, of course. She is so hot. So hot. And Kid Rock is in it. In the movie, he's an absolute dickhead, which means he's basically acting as himself in real life. But Joe Dirt is a really, really good film. I love that film. Number 3. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I love this movie, and it's not because of Jessica Rabbit. Well, a little bit because of Jessica Rabbit. To paraphrase a line in the movie, I could dabble in watercolors. Roger Rabbit's very funny. It's very well done. It's got some properly scary parts in it as well. The part involving the shoe and the drum of dip, and the part where the judge's true nature is revealed, those are properly scary parts. But please, Mr. Valiant, is one of my favorite things. And I actually got to meet one of the guys that worked the cameras in that movie. I was an extra in a movie in Zimbabwe called Power of One, and the guy who was the lead cameraman in that film also worked on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and he's also an animator, and so he drew me a Roger Rabbit, which I've still got lurking around sometime. But what a great film. I love that film. My second favorite movie. Okay, it's probably a bit of a weird one for me. I'm trying to decide, actually, because on one hand I've got Deadpool and Wolverine, which I loved, but that's new. I'm just going to ignore that for the moment. But this one is 12 Angry Men, and it's a weird one for me because it's not really my type of film. It's a really, really, it's basically about the jurors deciding on the guilt or non-guilt of a murderer. And so it's set in a single room, and there's basically 12 characters all the way through the film, and the movie starts with 11 of them thinking he's guilty and one of them saying nah, and then through the film it all kind of changes, and there's all sorts of character stuff which comes into it, and man, it's just such a great film. It's a really, really great film. It's all in black and white. It was done in the 40s or 50s or something like that. But if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's compelling. It's compelling. It's not funny. Nobody flashes their tits. It's just a really, really good film. So my number one film as of 7:53 p.m. on the 7th of November. But actually, I think that any time that I do this list, this film will be number one, is Casablanca. And once again, fuck you if you judge me on that. I love Casablanca. Casablanca is the coolest film ever made. And Rick is the coolest character in any film. Anytime, anywhere. Now, he's also a bit of a wanker because Rick was the reason that I started smoking, because I wanted to be like him. But he genuinely, he's a really, really cool character. The character of Ilsa, his kind of love interest, Sam the piano player, and the French gendarme, a brilliant character. Round up the usual suspects. That's a really famous line that comes from that movie. And the song, As Time Goes By, I love that song. You must remember this, a kiss is just a kiss. Such a good film. Such a good film. If you've never watched Casablanca, you should watch it. A really awesome thing happened once. I went to go and watch, I don't know, it was like the 60th anniversary of Casablanca, and they were doing a special showing at a local theatre, so I went to go and watch it. And the theatre was full of people kind of my age and older, and some point during the film the sound cut out for about 2 minutes, and the people in the audience just carried on and filled in the dialogue. They did all the dialogue, and they did the music, and they did the sound effects, everything. It was brilliant. It was one of those kind of completely off the cuff and unexpected moments. And yeah, no, it was brilliant. But Casablanca is my favorite movie, I think, of all time. So that's it. That's my list. In an hour it'll be different, but that's my list. Go and watch all those movies. You won't go and watch them, but do me a favor, don't ever read the book about Roger Rabbit, because it's rubbish. There's nothing like the movie. The only thing that is similar is the name Roger Rabbit. Everything else is completely different, and it's shit. Don't watch that, but go and watch all the movies. Love you.